Love it. We got a bunch of great things that are gonna go on tonight, guys. We got some really interesting people, and we got a great project that's going on right now. We're gonna get into a little bit first, but before we go into any of that, though, we need to make sure that everyone here scan the Crypto Monday San Juan code. If you didn't for the Discord, please scan it. See one of either myself or my wife or Ulysses. Can you raise your hand? Where are you at? Ulysses, sorry. Awesome. If you see this gentleman, please scan the code. We're trying to get it to where everyone doesn't have to register every week. Trying to make it so that everyone is an easy process. And because everybody gives my wife a hard time, and she's getting mad at me. So, guys, we gotta thank a couple of people tonight. I mean, you know, we're gonna start with the Lighthouse team. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but please give a round of applause for the Lighthouse team. They're doing a great job, you know. The hotel here, they accommodate us so well every week, you know, week in and week out, and they really love having us, which is a great thing to have, a mutual relationship with someone who wants us. Nobody found that funny. Okay. And we definitely got a legend in his own mind. No.
That's right.
Enzo, and we're going to get into it tonight, and we'll start with Enzo, and then we're going to move into a panel, and we'll let the panel discuss on the gallery that's going on right now, the live auction. If you didn't scan the codes that are on the table, scan them. Look around what's on the auction. You guys are gonna love what you see there. So that way, as you sitting there, you could browse through the beautiful art that's there, which is, you know, a big part of why we're here tonight, is to come together as a community to help our brothers and sisters and humanitarian people over there in Ukraine. With that, let's start by introducing Enzo.
Hi, everybody. I know a lot of people here. I'm definitely like a newbie compared to some of the folks here. So I only kind of came in, you know, full-time blockchain in 2016. So I'm like kind of new, I think, amongst this crowd. I did buy Bitcoin in 2014 though, which was smart enough to do that. Yeah, so I run a fund, but I worked with Mike Turpin for 3 years. I was CSO. I worked at actually OKX. I was there kind of head of the international innovation. And that was like my real blockchain experience. And I got to meet a lot of people because of Michael. I got to work on a lot of great projects. And then I realized that I wanted to actually start a fund because I thought that, you know, this is such a greenfield area and there's so much going on that, you know, it would be crazy not to try to take advantage of it in a much kind of bigger way. Plus, I've always been like a kind of corporate strategist. I did strategy at NASDAQ and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I just felt like, wow, we could really do a lot here. And I'm happy to say that in the first kind of 18 months of my fund, I had 11 unicorns, or 11 companies go unicorn. And I was like, I think we're pretty good at this. I know it's a bull market, but I wrote a ton of research. And the group that I put together have both TradFi backgrounds and crypto backgrounds, like me. And they're CFAs and they're kind of LPs that are also like CSOs of, you know, like large projects like data labs. But one of the most exciting projects that I just got into, like I started buying actually HELIUM probably about 8 months ago, or yeah. So, but now I'm like addicted to it in a way that I thought it would be a cool project to actually talk about. So my fund's actually right now, we're actually going to commit a significant amount of money to, you know, in like the triple, you know, kind of range. Well, I guess that's 3, 6, 9-figure or 10-figure range. We're working to put together something where We believe that the decentralized 5G network and the decentralized IoT network is going to be one of the biggest changes in the world.
Hopefully you're bringing that here to Puerto Rico. We need it.
We definitely need it, right. And it's these small cell Wi-Fis and these long-range IoT, systems. And they're not, and it's not going to just be actually helium. There's other tokens coming up like pollen. There's this gigantic infrastructure that's going to be built. And one of the companies that we're working with, 60% of the miners that are currently running, they sold. And they worked with Qualcomm and they worked with Semtech. And I kind of look at this like the Cisco of the kind of IoT and blockchain age, where you're going to have to lay down all the routers first and then build the infrastructure. And I mean, think about it. There's only like 600,000 nodes out there right now. And I think we looked at the TAM, like the total, if you fill in every single cell on the Helium network, and it's something like, 5 million plus are needed. So huge opportunity. Got really into it. I think everybody here probably either knows Helium or is actually looking at it. But like coming to this crowd, I'm not going to sit here and talk about my fund and you should invest and blah, blah, blah.
Well, what brings you to Puerto Rico?
So I'm trying to move here.
Hey!
But it's difficult.
What?
Well, it's difficult for me because my wife, I haven't gotten her to cross the line. And I've been married.
Did she
Not
come?
yet. No, she hasn't come yet.
She comes for, we got a couple of couples here. They come for a week and they just
Yeah, so I am setting up my parent company here. That's done.
Awesome. And that is?
Bitquity.
Awesome.
So Bitcoin meets like equity, or crypto meets equity, like TradFi meets CryptoFi.
That's going to be here on the island.
Yeah.
So are you going to be doing a lot of things here, hiring wise?
It'll be the holding company, and I've already have one person that's actually living here that is works for the fund and also has his own game project. Dante, yeah. So Dante has actually created Dante's Inferno, and the game has 30,000 Discord users already, and is about to do its mint drop. And it's based on the 7 levels of hell, and there's armor, and there's all this cool shit going on. And
7 layers of hell is cool?
Well, it's Dante's Inferno. I mean, so in a game, yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So he might be here, actually, but he's going to work for us here. And then I'm actually looking for 2 more people. And this is going to be more like the admin strategy group that'll help to run the entire company. So
awesome. So hopefully we could get you to move here fairly quickly.
I'm trying. I think it's going to be, the bigger problem is that you can't have real estate. You can't have too much real estate in the U.S. You can't have too many ties to the U.S. So it's that whole game, like, do I have to sell my house now and blah, blah, blah. So.
Sell it all. Just buy a mountain over here.
Sell.
So
we should be buying.
What's in the near future for you, if you don't mind?
You know what? I just love the tech of it, and I love like building companies and advising companies and doing strategy and raising funds for my fund to put to work. So yeah, I just got a phone call that we're about to probably get like another 50 in. So yeah, I'll have to put more money to work.
I definitely had to do my research like I do with everyone, and all I hear is great things about you. So it'd be great to have a good guy come to the community, and help out with the community. Our community is amazing. I've never met such great people who are willing to just lend a helping hand if someone doesn't know anything. They're quick to teach, quick to just be there for one another.
WAGME, it's called.
WAGME.
So no one laughs in the.
Right? It's like everybody's dead tonight. I don't know. I made a joke. He made a joke. Take off your shirt. Let's see if they laugh.
They'll definitely laugh. That's definitely gonna happen.
So you got a lot of great things coming up. And what time frame do you say you'll have all this coming up?
So I have a SPAC also, which has 115 in it, and I'm gonna merge. It's called Blockchain Moon, just because it was kind of a joke, right? But that'll fill at some point. I can't talk about it obviously because it's public. But yeah, no, there's a lot of good stuff going on, and you know, we're still in the beginning. I'm like, this is still super nascent, and I was just happy that I got in at the right time where I could really kind of take advantage of all of the different opportunities and meet so many great people that are super smart, much smarter than I am, and like, you know, engineers and like mathematicians, cryptographers, business people. I mean, there's artists, like they're all here.
And it's crazy, like I said, because, you know, if you don't know something, they'll be willing to just, you know, enlighten you. And they're not afraid to talk about whatever projects they're on and things to that nature. It's great.
Yeah, it's all actually, you know, and we all don't like the governments, which is great. So that's always helpful.
Careful, they're listening. The FBI is listening.
Yeah, of course. Whatever.
So, is there anything you want to specify, you know, before? We don't want to hold everybody up because we got a panel coming in here that we're going to talk about some great things. Is there anything you want to let everyone in our community definitely know about what you are about to do or what are you doing?
I mean, look, I'm just like looking at companies that, like, I'm starting to look at more late stage. I still do seed and see, you know, the Series A financing, but I'm really starting to focus on those billion-dollar companies. You know, the companies doing a lot of revenue, like 65 million in revenue to 150 million in revenue to more than that, and taking them public and like giving them that kind of credibility. I think there's a whole. I think the next 2 years we'll see 200 public companies that are blockchain pure plays easily, and I'm going to try to be a part of that because I think I have a lot of experience in that market, the public equity market. So I'm like, if there's anything that I can do to kind of further the progress of the crypto world, I think it's doing that more towards mass adoption.
Awesome. So let's take a couple of questions before we get into the other panel real quick. We'll take a question or two. Anybody out there have a question? Question?
So Alex is
Rob, would you
gonna
help
ask
me
me
out,
a really
Rob?
hard question.
Thanks. Make sure the mic's on. Make sure
Not
the
on.
mic's on. Push the button. Gray button. Oh, the hamburger. I like it.
How do you make money in crypto?
How do I make money?
How do I make money in crypto with
How do
with your methods?
Good question.
That's a good question. So I do share my research. You do have to apply for it. I use the research as a CYA at first because I was like, if I'm buying all these tokens and then I advertised, you know, I mentioned it on Twitter, I don't want the SEC to come back to me and be like, you were pumping. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put out a press release and I'm going to put out research saying why. And people do read it. And we have about 6,000 folks who actually read the research. You do have to apply for it. So we'll call you or we'll send you like a message and we'll make sure that you're like a real person. But we have some pretty interesting people that read the research, like, you know, a lot of funds and a lot of family offices. So, you know, you could read the research and it's very like fundamental. It's very kind of like a sell-side equity research analyst approach. So you'll see like DCF models and comps and all that stuff. So I would say read the research, or just call me.
Awesome.
Or text me.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Telegram.
Well,
email.
and I'm on all of it.
I got a question for you about the hardware, and it seems like there's a big roadblock now as far as
Speak into the mic, please.
there's a big roadblock about hardware implementation right now, manufacturing and stuff. So what do you see is going on there in the next 6 months, or this transition to 5G from the 4G?
Yeah, the kind of supply chain issues are there, and that's not going to go away. I think the max that we're going to see in 5G units that'll be actually manufactured will be about 100,000, maybe a little bit more, which is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. But they also didn't pass the law yet. There's an FCC, like there's something that has to get passed. It's about to that allows them to use the free 5G like spectrum. So this is the 5G spectrum that's less than 500 megahertz, I think. So I'm not a scientist or a kind of engineer. 60 gigahertz. So it's kind of below that, but it has to be approved for this. The assumption, the reason why people will buy the box anyway is because they'll just hold it, right? But there's still a lot more on the IoT kind of the radio frequency that can be built and sent out. I don't think we'll have as much problems there, but the 5G is going to take a while to get out there.
Awesome. One more question? One more question. Anybody? Nobody? Oh, way in the back. They want to make you work for it, Rob.
What sort of progress are you seeing with family offices coming off of zero and entering the space? Do you see what sort of allocations are you seeing towards crypto?
I'm sorry, just say that again?
Speak into the mic, please.
So for family offices, as they enter into the crypto space, are you seeing what their allocations look like as far as a percentage of their portfolio? Are they doing 1%, 5%?
So we as a fund are very kind of diversified. We have a Sharpe ratio is I think it's now it's like 1.9. We have a pretty decent Sharpe ratio, and our max drawdown is like 21%, which is relatively, flat compared to 75% drop downs. But that's because we mix everything in, and we do a lot of allocations that are small. So we'll do like nothing more than 5% of the portfolio ever is anything. So what happens then though, if we have like a bunch of Solana, like we bought actually kind of Solana at $1, and it was like, it's going. So we have to shave off because we have to keep the portfolio balanced. We allocate 1% to 2%. Like we are really, really careful because it's too greenfield right now. And then where we'll do the concentrated bets are more in the kind of later stage, which have almost like packed in, like they have built-in upside. So like I'm taking a actual company public, the fund invested in the SPAC at the best price. So it's like even before we start trading, it's 20x for the fund. But that's because that's for the fund, right? So I built that in. But other than that, and that's I invested a decent amount, but everything else were much more smaller checks and smaller allocations, 1% to 2%.
Awesome. Guys, help me thank Enzo for coming.